to the breaking news. Harvey provoking an unfolding flooding disaster in America's fourth largest city, Houston, Texas.
This is all happening right now as we come on the air, and the situation is unfortunately dire. People trapped in their flooded out homes. They are fleeing to their attics, taking to social media, begging for a rescue.
Hi, my name's Nina LeBlanc, and I'm a compliance director at Hydric and PSC. Well, on August 27th, we were watching as the waters rose, starting at 3 a.m. We were steadily watching. The creek is right behind my house, so we had the other family across the street and another family down the street evacuate to our house because we're the highest house on the street. So we started watching the water rise and rise, and eventually we were all sitting on the stairs and just saw the water start coming in our house. The creek pretty much took over our street, and the current started taking away trailers and basketball goals, flooding down the street. We were eventually evacuated. We were rescued by boat that morning around 11 and evacuated to a local elementary school. I'll show you a little bit about where everything happened. Right here behind the tree line is the creek. It's Clear Creek, and that's actually the creek that came over into here and took over our street and took over our home. The house right over there as well, you'll see that the deck is ruined basically because the creek took it, and that house had the water all the way to the roof line. That family, they came to our house because we're the highest house on the street, and we had another family as well come over to our house. As you can see on our street, the street kind of goes down. The topography of the street goes down a little bit. So as you go down, the water just gets deeper and deeper. So once the flood waters finally receded, we had a dive team come out, and they launched right here, and they went diving down there for bodies, any kind of bodies that they maybe could have found. But luckily there were no bodies. But yeah, this is kind of where everything was flooded and took over. It didn't really hit me, I don't think, until the boys came up and gave me a hug, and then I just broke down crying. So it's hard because everything you work for is out on the side of a curb, and you're watching people come down the street stealing from the stack of your stuff. But there's new beginnings and everything, and it's just stuff. So none of my family was hurt. Yeah, so right here, in order to try to save our yard as much as we could, we put all of our trash here. This is where the pile of all of basically our home, our contents, everything was right here across the street. I think the saddest thing I saw sitting on the pile was a picture of my nephew, his baby picture. He just turned 1 year old, so probably watching that sit on the pile and a garbage truck picking that up, that was pretty heartbreaking for me. All right, come on, I want you to come in and see my crib. It's a mess, literally. All right, come on in. So every day after work, we come here to the house to hang sheetrock, get stuff off the floor, the glue that was there from the tile before. Every day we're working after work. And here's my husband, Rodney. Hi, baby. He is helping us rebuild our home. Pretty much every day he's working on our house. I would say emotionally, it's taken its toll as far as never having an end in sight right now. It just seems deflating sometimes when every day you have to come home from work and work some more, and it just seems to be never ending. So in that part, it's emotionally difficult, but otherwise we're very positive people, so we try to find our joys and our victories in the small things.
Well, so to those who have met my wife, you probably understand she is probably the strongest woman. I guess you don't realize how strong someone is until they have to be strong in certain situations, and it was enlightening, to say the least. She's been a great mother and has done a great job with the boys, keeping them, I guess, as normal as possible through some very difficult, unnormal times. Good job.
Well, when we got in the boat, it was really scary. We actually took on almost 20 people into the boat, which turned out to be too much, and it downpoured the entire time. So while we were going, we started taking on water. So we had to get out all the guys. They left the women and children on the boat, turned the boat around and started going the opposite direction of where we were going to the shelter. And as we were going there, we were crossing over the creek that took over our street, and it actually took our boat and we started sliding into a power line, which was terrifying. So I honestly thought I was going to die in that moment. That was probably the scariest thing of the whole event for me. And so I know I was very worried about being separated from my husband, not being able to know where he's going or how to get in touch with him because our cell phones were almost dead.
I got out of the boat and started assisting getting young children and women and other people into the boat, which overwhelmed the boat, made it a little overloaded. So they had to drop off the guys in a higher ground and take the women and children into the shelter. And to watch your wife get separated from you in a pretty trying time, and to see her face and her despair was a little overwhelming.
What was amazing, and probably one of my favorite things of the whole experience, was seeing that even though it was one of the most devastating experiences of our lives, both of our work family, mine and my husband's, they came to our rescue. My boss, he came and brought me a gift card and gloves and said, "How can I help?" And some of my other employees or my local coworkers, they brought their families and helped rip the walls out of our house. A lot of the work family that we had, they called or sent flowers or just well wishes. They also took up donations and gave us money. I've received 2 donation offerings from my fellow coworkers, so that was a huge help.
The people that work with Nina are some pretty amazing people, and I know this firsthand because I used to work with a lot of the people that are there today on both sides, PSC and Hydrochem. Some of my very dear friends still work there, and they were helpful and supportive and there when you needed them. And it was a pretty amazing thing to see your work family, or in this case, my wife's work family, show up and was ready to work and had no reservations and were all in.
They were everything we needed them to be when we didn't know what we needed. At Hydrochem PSC, we had been running this Promise Me campaign, but this really brought it home for me because it really showed the promise that my company has to their employees, that no matter, they care about our safety at work, but they also care about our family and our safety at home too. To be a part of Hydrochem PSC and a work family that loves and cares about you and was right by your side at your worst time probably ever. Sorry. That was huge for me and my family, and I will be forever indebted to my work. So they are my family. After this, I promise that I will pay back to all my coworkers and my company and share the love that I have for them, for being there in my time of need. I will do the same and pay it forward.